Today's video, we're going to be chatting about malware on the AUR. Now, if you don't use the AUR at all, but you do use Arch Linux, this does not affect you at all. But if you do use these certain programs from the AUR, we're going to be going over a lot of links, as you can see from the top. You might need to be a tiny bit worried, but we're going to go over all of this just so you completely understand what's going on. First and foremost, we're going to activate reading mode, and we're going to activate semi-dark mode so you all can enjoy what's happening. And we're going to put me down here, and we're going to start. This is the primary analysis of the AUR malware. But before we jump into this, I need to show you exactly what exactly has been affected, okay? All right, so these are the packages that were affected. We open them. We have... Is this leading directly to them? Jesus, is he saying all of these packages were affected? No, it can't be. I've checked the update notifications so far. They are all malicious. Interesting. So, all of these have been... No, I don't... See, this is what happens when you get conflicting information. Okay. So, Zathura Groovebox. This is a much better, I guess, one. Solera kernel headers, AutoHand CLI. There's an AutoScript. And Python 2 mutagen. Alien FX. Oh man, Alien FX. A lot of people use that one. There's also XenaPython. There's a package called headphones. Fast OGGENC. PYPY setup tools. And yeah, there's those ones. Comments from the AUR user Mariam seem to be malicious. Wow. That's not good. There's an attachment as well. I disowned the PO service yesterday. Method took ownership today. Immediately pushed a comment impersonating me, adding a malicious postscript. You could take over packages? Are you serious? Is there nobody looking at these submitted packages? Is there no one handling this? Is there no like trusted group of community members that are in here dealing with this, making sure packages aren't malicious and filled with malware? And if so, if that doesn't exist, why? Why isn't there a community board dedicated, filled with trusted members that have been known for years, not looking through these AUR packages? It would be incredibly easy to set up. Most people know the most trusted members. I don't know. Here's another one. Gnome-terminal-fedora got infected. God damn! The newest maintainer for the ALVR AU packages made a commit that adds NPM packages to what is quite clearly not an NPM project, as well as replaced the email address of the previous maintainer with their own while keeping the same name as the latest committer. More can be seen from the comments of various users the updates have pushed. Wow, and there's the package link right there. Yes, this is just malware at this point. This was a widely used package, by the way. This is one of those things that just are gone. Oh, I already looked at that. And then here is one of the malwares that was pushed. I don't know what people are trying to do here, but this is ridiculous. This is a serious situation. Alright, so primary analysis of AUR malware. Malware analysis report, the deps. Okay, scope and handling. Can we just like... Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Note, the following report was very hastily written by Codex. I have fact-checked against the iDay compilation though. The scope and handling. This report summarizes the static reverse engineering of the Linux ELF malware sample named deps, a static review of recovered NPM packages source associated with the incident. The sample and package were treated as malicious throughout handling. No dynamic execution of the ELF NPM package lifecycle scripts or package code was performed. The binary is stripped. Implement with Rust-style async state machine functions. Named in this report are analysis assigned names based on decompiled behavior. Incident background. The sample was recovered from a supply chain compromised involving an Arch user repository AUR. Package build flow. In the report intrusion path, the attacker modified AUR build steps so that the build process downloaded and installed malicious NPM package. The package masqueraded as an atomic lock flow version 1.4.2 and included the Linux ELF or ELF payload as src hooks deps. src hooks deps. The file type is not supported. Interesting. Editor note, it turns out many more AUR packages were attacked today in the same way. It is very likely the same threat actors responsible with the same deployed malware. So all of these packages, all of these right here, you see them? They are compromised. From what I'm reading in these forums, all of these packages are compromised. The malicious NPM package used a pre-installed lifecycle hook to execute the alpha automatically during the NPM installation. This means a developer workstation, a maintainer workstation, or CI build host could execute the malware as a side effect building or installing the compromised AUR package. Oh man. deps is a Linux credential stealer with optional root-only eBPF rootkit capabilities. It is designed for developer workstation and build environments. It's targeted towards browsers, Electron application data, so Slack, Microsoft Teams, Discord, GitHub, NPM, Vault, Docker, Podman, so on and so forth, and other local developer secrets. The recover supply chain identifies itself as atomic lock file 1.4.2, and it contains a malicious NPM lifestyle set. Yeah, they're repeating themselves now. All right, the lifecycle executes. Enabled, the ELF package source is byte identical to the analysis sample. The attacker controlled C2 endpoint. I have no idea what any of this means, by the way. It is not supplied by the NPM package. Command line arguments or JavaScript wrapper. The binary decodes the onion service at runtime. Right here. The command result callback is post API agent sent through a local loopback socket style transport. The local 127.0.0.1 traffic is immediately transport layer, not the attacker's endpoint. Where eBPF is available, the malware can hide local processes and socket artifacts used by the transport. I'm going to say this to you right now. If you have any of these packages installed, and I'm going to show them. Okay? You know what? Let's make this bigger because I know there's some people out there who have issues seeing things. If you have any of these packages installed, any of these, use the pause button, okay? Any of these. I don't know if they're still infected or not, but if you have any of these or you have installed any of these, including this ALVR AUR package, if you have any of these installed, I need you to do me a quick favor. Wipe your goddamn OS out. Back up your files, the ones that you think are not infected, whatever they are. Change all your passwords. do whatever it takes. Passkeys, go to GitHub, change your GitHub username, not username, your passwords. I want you to just go through everything. I want you to be sure that everything is secure. Okay? I'm not saying this to be paranoid or anything, but this is serious, and you need to deal with this. Okay? If you can add a passkey to GitHub, do it. Just secure everything. All right? Your OS is compromised, and uncompromising your OS might be next to impossible. Okay? So just reinstall Arch Linux. All right? And you don't have to be hardcore about it where you go and you do it manually. Just use Arch install for the reinstallation. You probably don't have time to be screwing around with manual install, even though it takes like 6 minutes. All right, so file contents is uploaded to temp.sh with post/upload the temp.sh upload destination is a storage upload server, upload service, not the actor C2 by itself. Recovered onion/API/agent channel is the best static explanation of how the uploads ID status, tasking, and other result metadata return to the operator. All right. So, supply chain delivery. The recovered package source appears to be most legitimate TypeScript npm package with a malicious L file inserted. Okay. Expected launch flow. AUR build process fetches and installs the npm package. npm reads the package.json. npm lifecycle reaches pre-install, executes the deps, executes the Linux elf malware starts. Look at all that. Now, I would go and run through the rest of this, but I think we've pretty much covered what we need to cover. So now here's where we get into the complicated part. What the AUR has to do next, it has to evolve. And I know it's going to be difficult to evolve, but here's my pitch. Gather your most trusted users from your forums. Train them on how to read code. It's going to take a couple months, maybe a couple weeks, maybe less, who knows. Maybe they're already developers, maybe they already know how to read code, maybe you'll get lucky. Okay? Create a board that is specifically designed for AUR packages. When an AUR package is submitted, it gets sent to the board. The board there goes through the code, identifies anything that could be malicious, and does not let that AUR package get sent to the list to be populated when someone searches for it. Instead, what happens is they don't allow it. Okay? You need a guard at the door to say yes or no. It has to be a thing. If you do not, the AUR will become a cesspool, like Reddit. And then we have a few million computers infected? No, thank you. The AUR has to evolve. We need some guards at the front door. Okay? My suggestion is 10 to 20 people or more, depending on how many you can get. Train them to read code, to understand what's malicious, what's not. And that's it. That's all you got to do. Something will slip through. That's just, how things work. But you'll catch 90% of the problems. And that's fantastic. And as time goes on, they'll get more efficient at what they're doing. Do I suggest AI is to be used for this? Well, here's the thing. If you can train AI to understand malicious code, to pretty much recognize it or notice it, you could also use that as a secondary level as well. Or the AI reads it first, humans read it second, which I would highly recommend, because again, AI is extremely flawed. And there you go. I know it may sound like a big thing to pitch for people, but you have to understand that these are people's computers, these are people's lives. The AUR is something that is very well used and loved. In other words, it's changed everything I know about Linux. It's what kept me on Linux. I'm on Debian SID right now. I'm using PikaOS, but still, like, I will link all these sources in the description below for you. Okay, so you can check it out. I might pin it in the first comment as well. My recommendation again to you is to just wipe out Arch Linux and do a reinstall if you've installed any of these packages in the last couple of months. Okay? Please. Be safe rather than sorry. Go change your passwords, everything you can. Your information is most likely on the dark web somewhere by some malicious entity, so be safe, not sorry. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope to see you in the next video.